Hello everybody, today's Wednesday the 13th and we're here to give you the update with Misty's puppies, and they're doing great. We just got done actually doing their normal cleanup routine for the room, and that lets some of the heat out of the room. We keep this room warmer than the rest of our house, so the puppies are nice and toasty and comfy, and so they're kind of huddling together. This is what puppies do if they get a little bit cold. You would think that it's like Arctic temperatures in here by how much they're huddling. It's probably 75 degrees in here right now, and so they're used to it being about 5 degrees warmer, and so they like to just huddle and stay closer together. Puppies and temperature is a super important thing. So we notice a difference. If they ever get cold, they start to huddle together, and that's just fine. Misty is doing super well with them and taking good care of them. These pups, honestly, they are pooping and peeing machines at this point. They are eating so much and drinking so much with their milk and everything like that, that they just are pooping and peeing machines at this point. So now that the pups are 2 weeks old, we're happy to share that their eyes are opening. I'm going to get a couple of them here that are up and going. I'll see if I can tip the camera right and hold it good. See, we got Mr. Blue. See if he'll face the camera. I got to kind of tip their head up. Their heads just want to stay down, so I don't want to force them too much, but if I'm gentle, you can see that the slits of their eyelids are opening. Oh, we got Miss Purple. She is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed right now. Honestly, they can't see super clear right now. Here's little Pink. You can tell that when their eyes first open, there's a little bit of a cloudy look to their eyes, and so they can't see super well, but we know they can hear now. Their ears are starting to unseal, so when there's loud noises and things like that, they're starting to react a little bit more to them. And right now you can see Misty trying her very best to keep up with them and clean them up. So they're pooping machines, and I'm going to point a couple of things out. Miss Purple, she has a little bit of a bald spot on this side of her hip and a little bit down her back, and I think there's, where else? I think that's a couple spots down there. Miss Gray has a spot right on the top of her head. They get a little bit of I call it a cradle cap. If you've had babies and things like that, and you know what I'm talking about with cradle cap, it's like a filmy texture right underneath the hair of their fur and things like that. And if mama doesn't get it cleaned up, if there's a poop and the pup rolls in it and mama doesn't get it cleaned up, then it kind of collects right underneath the surface of the hair. And so mom might lick here, but she can't scrub underneath the hair. So sometimes that'll create a little bit of a cradle cap type thing where there's a little bit of a film, and then it's not really a scab per se, but it just kind of suffocates the hair follicle, and then the hair kind of clumps up and falls out. So then it'll grow back. So that's what's happened with Miss Purple over here, and Miss Gray had a little spot on her head. So it's not super common to have that happen, but it's not super rare either. So they should be just fine with that. But these pups, they're getting more mobile all the time too. So we're excited that they're going to be up and moving. In fact, at about 2 weeks old is pretty much when we graduate them from their blanket scenario, and we start to introduce the wood shavings into their whelping box space. so that Mama doesn't have to work so hard to keep up with sanitation. Because once these guys are up and moving and mobile, they're a little bit less dependent on Mom to eliminate. So their pooping and peeing at this point has been reliant on some of Mom's initiation with some stimulation to make them go potty, and then she cleans it up, things like that. So at this age, they get mobile enough that they can move around and poo and pee on their own better, and Mom just gets behind, and we don't want it to get really messy, and we need the pups to stay clean so that they potty train easier. So the cleaner a pup is raised in their birthing and early environment, the easier it is to potty train them. So they have a natural instinct to want to stay clean, and I'm just going to move some of these pups around while I'm talking. I thought just a second ago, I thought we should move them around so they kind of wake up and get going, let people see them. Anyways, so the cleaner you can keep a pup, the easier it is to potty train, because they have a natural instinct to want to go potty separate from the area that they are raised in. And if they're not able to stay clean, then that instinct that they have basically gets rewritten, and they become a dirty puppy, and they just get used to not being clean, and they just kind of lose that inclination to want to stay clean, and it makes it harder for them to get potty trained in their homes and things like that. So we try really hard to keep the pups in a very sanitized environment where it can stay clean, and we found that the wood shavings, the wood chips, wood flake shavings are really advantageous because it helps absorb the urine, and the poops and things like that kind of clump around the shavings. It's a little bit like a kitty litter type situation, but for puppies. And so they just stay immensely more clean than any other way that we found so far. So we've really taken to that and like doing that. We've got both of the pinks. I know they were just nursing. I think they're about done nursing. Oh, they're still going. I'll let them keep going. And so we've liked the shavings, and the pups do really well with it, and they're old enough to kind of keep them out of their mouth now that they can see what they're doing, and they can see and find Mom and things like that. So we're excited to have them graduate their puppy blankies. Soon they'll be able to kind of crawl out of this whelping box. This is, in many terms, it's called a pig rail, because pig farmers absolutely have to have this rail that comes out and lets the little piglets slip underneath it in case Mom rolls her back against the perimeter and squishes a puppy or squishes a piglet. So it's called a pig rail, but it's a puppy rail for us. But they'll soon be easily able to climb up and over this and get out and start exploring their environment here. So the shavings will be actually a bedding that helps it to raise up a little bit. It'll be a little bit of a fill layer both inside and outside of this puppy rail box that's in here in the whelping room, and the pups can climb in and climb out as needed and claim their home territory and things like that. So one thing I'll point out is these guys are getting ready for their first pedicure. Their puppy toenails are just now long enough to have their first clipping, so we'll be doing that probably tomorrow. And we don't clip them too early because they use that. I'll use Mr. Blue over here. They use it immensely for traction on the blanket when they're nursing to kind of keep their position when they're competing for their space and things like that. They need that traction. Now that they're bigger and more mobile and they can stand up and move around, they're not as reliant on their toenails for traction and things like that. And honestly, the puppy shavings, the wood shavings that we'll bring in, give them plenty of traction as well. But they can kind of slide out from them as they're working their way into the cafeteria and finding their place for dinner. So we've got Mr. Boy Blue here and Mr. Boy Blue over here, Miss Girl Teal, Miss Girl Yellow, Miss Purple, and Miss Dark Pink, Miss Light Pink, Miss Gray. They're all doing well. I don't remember here. Oh, Miss Purple. We talked about her a minute ago. So, Misty's doing really well. She is drinking lots of water and eating tons of food. So we're just really aware of nutrition and high calorie needs that she has to produce all the milk that these pups require to grow. And as you can see, they're doing very well. They're just nice, round puppies and staying up to weight and growing every day. So they're right where we would expect them to be for this age here at this 2-week mark for them. Thanks for watching this video, and we look forward to sharing the next one with you next week.